Welcome, my friends, to the world of HeroQuest, a place unlike any other. By now, most of you have heard about the HeroQuest Unofficial Guidebook featured on AshQuest last week. I want to send a big thank you to the fandom for all the kind words and to Ash for helping me get the document into the hands of the HeroQuest community. If you haven't had a chance to watch the full video, take a moment to pop on over, give it a watch, and come back when you're done. A link to the video is in the description below. Today, I want to give you the background story on why I created the reference guide and how I think it can be best utilized during game night, and answer the question everyone's asking. Why can't I download the document? This is the Fair Weatherman. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, I sit here amazed at all the positive interactions last week, and I'm grateful for the new followers on the channel. The past few months, I've been busy, trying to create content and continue to grow to new audiences. It was fun to be recognized as a contributor. So with that being said, I'd like to talk about the document that I've been working on the better part of the year, the HeroQuest Unofficial Guidebook. It all started when I received a copy of the re-release for my birthday last January. As soon as I opened the box, my younger children were mesmerized by all of its contents. Avalon Hill put together a great presentation and the core game system. My daughter loved the figures, my son loved looking through the cards, and they both enjoyed asking me all their questions. Tell me more about this hero, tell me more about that monster. I saw their enthusiasm grow and was reminded of how I felt as a child playing the game. The best thing about HeroQuest is playing HeroQuest with my children. With all the HeroQuest content released over the past 30 years, there's no book of reference with hero backstories, in-depth monster lore, and general knowledge tying everything together within the universe. It's clear HeroQuest lives in the old world of Warhammer, as Milton Bradley and Games Workshop printed the old world map on the back of the quest book for the Return of the Witchlord. Something that wasn't included in the re-release, or mentioned ever again for that matter. We received glimpses of the old world's history throughout Mentor's storytelling around the original 4 heroes, but outside of this initial warning of Zargon, we pick up in present day, leaving the story to be told throughout each immersive quest, which is a wonderful way to keep someone older engaged, but not accessible for younger fans to sit down and consume the content like other intellectual properties. The impatience of my children would not accept my answer of, "We'll find out as we play through each dungeon." So I set out searching the internet for some type of comprehensive document within the fandom and found it didn't exist. 10 months later, you're now looking at what I compiled, and will continue to do so, as the document is view only for a few good reasons. First and foremost, absent some Homebrew content, I do not own anything compiled across the almost 200 plus pages. That belongs to Milton Bradley, Avalon Hill, and everyone in between. Its wonderful artists and creative writers deserve all the credit for creating the world of HeroQuest, including some of the fandom who've created Homebrew content as well. This is something I feel I'm not allowed to simply give out. I'll do my best to continue to respect the intellectual property that now belongs to Avalon Hill, and if asked to do so, would gladly comply if requested to take it down. The view-only nature of this document allows for easy accessibility to HeroQuest content that's scattered throughout the internet on web pages like the Ye Olde Inn, the HeroQuest subreddit, YouTube, the companion app, and what can be found with a quick Google search. I found the best way to share this creation was as a view-only PDF, which would come in handy as I continue to update its content, which is my second reason. What a wonderful ride HeroQuest fans have been on the past few years. With all of its well-crafted re-releases and imaginative new content, the work coming out of the team at Avalon Hill continues to amaze me. How could I come to the conclusion that everything HeroQuest is wrapped up in 200 pages? I continue to look forward to new and exciting content. And just as I thought I included everything, the release of Jungles of Delthrak added a few more pages to the book, and the upcoming release of First Light added a few more pages, and so the size of the unofficial guidebook continues to grow. I would hate for multiple versions of this document to be floating around the HeroQuest community. For that reason, I decided to keep it compiled in one place, allowing 24-hour access to use as a digital reference. When you're knee-deep in the bloody battle and forgot what the stats of a Doomguard is, or you have a new player entering the fray and they would like a backstory on the Berserker before they walk down the stairs and into the dark corridors of the dungeon. The inspiration for such a document came to me from a torn and battered Pokémon Ultimate Guide Book my kids take everywhere with them. The pages, that have mostly come unglued, are full of colorful images of each character, along with a short text of background and their skills, all sorted by its region. I desired to compile a similar document full of fun artwork, monster stats, and history. With each expansion completed, I told myself I was done, but found it hard to quit. I started tackling prequel quests, homebrew content, and awesome one-off quests from White Dwarf magazine. It's my hope the simplicity of this document makes for a fun and educational read. My kids were eager to read each page as it was completed, learning so much of the content that my son would school me on the movement and attack stats of monsters. I'm so proud. You'll notice I spent the most time creating believable backstories for each hero. I can't take all the credit though. My inspiration came from the Reddit user Rave Raver, who created the first 4. His post was one of the first things I came across when searching for backstories. What follows is a little history on each expansion with classic images from HeroQuest content throughout the years. Throughout the document, I included map icons and sprinkled in artwork from Advanced HeroQuest when I needed more content. Early on, my daughter wanted a strong female character to play with, so I initially created her a Valkyrie character connected to the magical hammer found in the halls of Durgdal. She was later turned into the champion elf. I did my best to balance out the genders for each hero class in order to keep her interested. Maybe one day the Valkyrie will make her return. Within the 180 pages, you'll find an armory of weapons, hero spells and skill cards, potions, artifacts and equipment, chaos and dread spells, and a list of all treasure found in the dungeon. The core text is focused on a massive encyclopedia of monsters, official and homebrew, found within each expansion, and some the casual fan may not know existed. I love to introduce monsters I've labeled Dark Forest, like Skaven, Trolls, and Rat Ogres, and White Sears, into the core game system, adding a different flavor to the everyday dungeon. This is my personal favorite area in the guidebook, where I played with the idea of adding owl archers, owl bears, and the white vulture, a nod to the dark crystal. All that being said, I hope you find ways to incorporate the reference guide into your game nights. When I play, I have it bookmarked and ready to go when I need the cost of a craft potion or a clarification of a hero skill without having to dig into the game box. With some of the fandom making web-based character cards and digital treasure decks, the HeroQuest Unofficial Guidebook is easily accessible at the table. I hope Avalon Hill realizes the need for such a book of reference and will consider creating an official guidebook in the future, although it will always be incomplete in my eyes without the Chaos Mantra and the gruesome Fimmer Warrior. Until then, the fandom will continue to create content for the game that holds so much nostalgia. Well, that's all I have for y'all today. Please stay tuned, as I'm in the process of creating some really cool content for future videos, and I hope you've enjoyed playing my version of the HeroQuest card game. As always, danger lurks in every shadow. Your very survival depends on your ability to work together, for no true hero stands alone. Come, let the quest begin.